I was just like, yeah, why are
Yeah,
you sitting there with someone? Why
right,
can't you do an
right.
interview on your own? Someone needs to bring that up. And then the BS that Tim Walz did about, talking about being in combat. Like he didn't know what he was
He was
saying, like it was like a grammar problem. No, sorry. But he'd be better off to say, yeah, I got caught up in the moment and,
hmm
I meant to say what it would be like, but I just said it like that. And I just,
Yep, yep.
I should have
They
taken it
can't
back
though.
and I
They
screwed up and I'm sorry to all the men who have served. That's what he should say. Should
but
say,
he
I'm
can't
sorry to all the men
because
who have served.
he will
Ugh,
not do that though because they cannot help themselves. They cannot
I
stop
know,
lying.
right?
And they just think that all of us out here will be baffled by this
Yeah, I
and just
know.
drink it. And it
They're
just
so
makes me
used to being believed. It's like, hi, welcome to Texas Tough Chicks. This is Gwen and this is Viv, and we are here to talk a little bit about just the interview that Kamala did. And wait, Kamala. Yeah, okay. I'm making
yep.
sure I want to be respectful. I really feel like I can be respectful with her name. I think it's calm, like calm, you're calm, Kamala. I think
Kamala.
that's it. I'm
Kamala.
not for sure. And if
I think
that's
I've
wrong, I'm
heard I
sorry.
think I've actually heard her say it two different ways. So I'm not sure
Oh, okay.
myself. So
Yeah.
no, 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 no.
But we had the convention and that was interesting enough. Many things going on there that,
hmm
like the way they hid the president of the United States.
hmm
That was interesting.
Oh yeah, they
And
didn't let him talk till what, midnight their time, which
yeah,
was I guess they were hoping nobody's watching anymore
right,
or whatever.
exactly.
And
Well,
then
even
after that he
Kamala, the same thing. She was on it like 11:20, I think. So
yeah,
they were
and
maybe afraid that she might screw up. I don't
I don't
know. I
know.
mean,
I don't
there's a
know.
lot of momentum, but we should expect that, with the conventions. I mean, it was really disgusting that they had
Yep,
the abortion thing there. I mean,
yep.
it just all of it, the big uterus thing or whatever that
Yeah,
was. I
yeah.
don't
It was
even know what
it
that
was
was. I mean, it was all gross. It was just gross. I mean, come on.
but
Come on.
hey,
If you're a Christian, how are you there? I want to know. How are you there?
their whole party is all about abortion and zero population growth of the American
Right.
people. Now they don't have any
Transgenderism is the
problem.
same thing.
Yeah, and
Sterilizing
all
our
of that,
kids through
all it, yeah.
transgenderism.
But yet they were talking about her being so joyful. And I went, that's pretty sick. You're joyful over the fact
That's
that
their
you're
cover
killing
for her
babies in the
wacky
room.
laugh. That's their cover.
But
That
that,
she's
you know
joyful.
what?
You know what? Okay, so she laughs a lot. And you know what? Honestly, that's not a problem. It really isn't. It's only though if you pay attention when she laughs, it's usually when she's nervous.
Right. When she
It's a
can't,
nervous tick that she has. And so
it's a
is
lack of
that
confidence.
laughter like anything that maybe we should pay attention to? Yeah, because it,
Yeah, we
it kind
should. We
of
should. Yep, yep,
shows that
yep,
she's
yep.
not knowing what she's talking about. So she's kind of
Right.
covering up with laughter. And
Exactly.
he has a special needs son, which I didn't know that until I saw this. And the special needs son is like, I would say he's grown. I mean, I want to say he's either in his late teens, early 20s. And he comes out on stage with them. And this really shows you someone's character when they can't stop themselves when they're in front of millions of people. But he grabs his hand and he kind of yanks him. And people say, oh, I didn't really yank him. That's a yank. Sorry, that's a yank. In any other world, it's a yank. Kind of like, get over here. You know what I mean?
Oh no.
And then he kind of catches himself and he like holds his hand, right? And I'm like, if any conservative did that to their kid in front of
hmm
millions of people, it would
Yep.
be an uproar.
Right.
And
Right.
especially to their kid with special needs, who is just joyfully excited to be there, excited
hmm
that his dad is on stage. He's just
hmm
having a really good time. And
hmm
yeah, he's having a hard time probably controlling himself,
hmm
but he's not doing anything that he shouldn't. And to have that kind of reaction is really disturbing to me.
That's so
That's
weak. I mean,
so
just
weak.
picture. Okay, number one, it was a recorded interview, so they got to heavily edit it.
Yeah, right.
Um, y- and if Trump did something like that, which he wouldn't, then they would crucify him.
Oh yeah,
But yet,
absolutely.
she gets all the passes. She gets not even softball questions, but cotton ball questions. I'm going
Yeah.
to start cotton ball
She
questions.
did get like two tough questions, right?
But she
And she
evaded
just
them.
deflected. And then there was even a
Yes.
follow-up on one and she deflected again and there was just
Yep.
nothing. It
Yep.
was like, oh, we're just going to accept that deflection, you
And I
know?
heard, I didn't watch it. I didn't think I could stomach it,
Oh,
but
I
I
couldn't either.
heard
No.
that she was actually looking down at notes that she, like had some, I don't know, bullet point notes or something like that, and that she was looking down at her notes during
Now,
the
how would
whole
she have
interview.
notes if it's an interview, right? A legitimate interview. Now, okay, yeah, I know that there's some where they give them kind of an idea. We're
Well,
going to talk about the wall. We're going to talk about this, that, and that.
you
Okay.
know, and I'm okay if it's something like having to come up with statistics, like,
Right,
a
right.
lot of
You want to
numbers or
make sure you
something
got them
like
right.
that.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
have a problem. I don't have a problem with anybody doing that.
She didn't answer the questions.
Mm-mm.
When she answered anything, it sounded she was attacking Trump, but yet on the same hand, she's adopting his policies
Mm-hmm.
as her own
She
because she
sure
can
is.
see that the general population in America is like, no, we are terrified of this border being open. It's not
Mm-hmm.
that we're hateful people, it's more that we need to protect our own people and
Yep,
do it
yep,
right.
yep, yep.
And she's picking up on that. Well, so what is she doing? She's like, I'm all for closed borders. Oh, really? Why doesn't someone say, do it now then? Do it
Right.
now. You're for it?
This
Do
is
it now. You're
this
in
is my
office
whole
right
point.
now.
This is where I get so angry. It's like, okay, you are in office, you're the vice president. Supposedly, you were put in charge of the border. You have all this power in the world that they say that they don't have,
Right.
and you guys shut down the building, the wall. You sold off the materials at pennies on the dollar. So now it's going to cost way more to finish it, or else you just let it sit there and rust and rot. So,
And now you're realizing that it's a big deal to Americans, that you
uh-huh,
can't just bully
always
us
has
into
been.
it. Your election is going to basically tether on this one
Yep.
subject.
But
So
the
now you're
scary part,
backpedaling like you've always
mhm,
been for closed border BS on that. And
right.
if you're all in for closed border and you want to do it right, do
Do
it
it now.
now. Show
Now.
us.
Right.
Show
Right.
us.
Right.
Kamala, show us. You're in office
That's
right now. You have the power
mhm,
to make this happen. Do it.
mhm, mhm.
Because you're
But they
just
don't.
lying right now.
Mhm.
Because
But
you want the votes, and when you get in, it's going to be the same BS like we've been
yep,
seeing
yep,
for three and
yep.
a half
Oh,
years.
it's
So yeah,
the
baloney.
border's not going to get shut. They're not going to deport anybody. They're going to give, all kinds of crap to the illegals. They're going to continue to let Americans die and be murdered and brutalized and everything else
Yep.
by these
Yep.
illegals. And I'm not calling them immigrants. I'm calling them illegal aliens
Hey,
because they
well,
are
okay, don't even
invaders.
drop the
They're
aliens because that's
invaders.
kind of a cut to the aliens, right? But let's
They're
just say
invaders.
illegal,
Let's
illegal
say
people. They're legal people coming into our country. And baloney on the families. Quit saying families because that means you're not even looking at the pictures. You're
right,
not even seeing the young men from other countries coming across
right,
our border.
right, right.
And we could see it pop up in all of these stupid rallies. Okay, so then you have the DNC. They've
Mhm,
got their
mhm.
brats
Yep,
outside
yep.
screaming at them,
Mhm,
screaming, and they're ignoring them. Now,
mhm.
come on, you Palestinian supporters, which I doubt if anyone's going to tune us in, right? They're ignoring you.
Yep.
You know,
Mhm,
they're ignoring you.
yep.
So
Mhm. Well,
I don't. They're using you, but they're ignoring you. So
yep, 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 yep.
yeah, and America doesn't support you. You are a few people. It looks like you're thousands, but thousands compared to 300 million is nothing.
Mhm.
So you don't represent us. No.
No,
Yeah.
no, no.
So yeah, that's
Well, and go back to the whole thing about the border wall. It was kind of funny again how there was a big old huge fence all the way around the DNC convention, massive
oh,
wall,
wait, isn't that a
and
wall?
oh yes, and they all had to show ID to get in. But
Oh
yet we don't
yes.
have to
Did
have
you
ID to
see
vote.
when they tried to take the Guatemalan? It was one of I don't remember
Mhm,
who tried it.
mhm.
Someone found a Guatemalan,
Yep.
probably illegal
Uh-huh.
person that was outside, wanted to get into the DNC. So
Mhm,
he escorts him to the gate, and he says to the 10 security people that are standing there,
Mm-hmm.
This is a Guatemalan. He has no ID. He'd like to come in. And they said no. And he
Mm-hmm.
said, but he is here as an immigrant and he'd
Mm-hmm.
like to come in to the DNC. And they said, no, he needs ID, but he doesn't have ID. I mean, it was so good.
Mm-hmm.
And they even the security guards started laughing because they knew what was going on. They kind of figured it
Mm-hmm.
out. And they were like, no, sorry, can't come in. It's like, oh, really? Can't come into DNC, can't come into the convention, but he can come
Mm-hmm.
right across our border, no problem.
Right. Right.
And
And
not
land.
only that, we'll give him, like food, we'll give him
Oh,
shelter, we'll
be
give him a
careful.
driver's license. There you
Uh,
go. That's what good politicians do,
yep.
not people like Trump. Okay. Trump
Right.
doesn't give a crap what you think of him. He doesn't. He's going to be him. He doesn't care.
Right.
Politicians talk like passive aggressive. They
Right.
speak like a very soft tone. They polish that so they know it's like even if they say something very offensive, it's not
Mm-hmm.
offensive in the tone, right?
What's
And if
covered
you
in
listen to
sugar?
her, she's getting more and more nasally. If you listen to her, she's like, listen to the tone. It's like nasal. It's like way nasal sound. And it seems maybe it's something to do with her being nervous in this interview. I
Or just getting
really picked
angry,
up on that.
or she's getting angry that she's being challenged in any
Yeah,
way or
maybe. I
questioned. It's like,
She
how dare
didn't
you
show any
question
of
me?
that, although
No.
I'm sure she was
Well,
because
she probably
there was a
did, and
couple times.
they probably
Um,
edited it out if she did. So
yeah, right. They just said it out.
there was a really interesting thing, and this is kind of where I come from. There was a really interesting, I think it was on Charlie Kirk, and it was a guy who is a legal immigrant who is a professor someplace. I don't remember his name, but he was talking about how there's such danger when you vote based on feelings. And he
Oh
said,
gosh, yes.
because you're so malleable and you're listening for the touchy feely stuff instead of
Hmm.
using your logical side to say, wait a minute, it doesn't
Right.
matter about the feeling part because again, I want to, I don't know. It goes back to the fact that they're pushing communism on the United States now. That's what
Yes.
they are doing. And in a communist country, all of this stuff, this feeling stuff
Yeah.
is not going to get anybody anywhere. In
Yeah. Yeah.
fact, it will just get you probably shot faster, And like I said, I read a lot of history. I'm reading a history book right now about World War II. A
Mm.
Polish, Polish people that got drafted into to fight for Germany and all the
Oh my
brutality and
gosh.
stuff. And I'm going,
That's
people
horrible.
read history
Right.
because it is repeating itself right now.
It
All this
is.
joy stuff comes straight out of the Nazi playbook. They did that.
Wow.
They used that
Wow.
same phrase about creating the joy
Oh, wow. Really? Yeah. Oh,
yes,
well, Hitler was very joyful, wasn't he? I mean, like,
yeah, but
yikes.
they made it that was the
Yikes.
paint.
No, by the time he's screaming at the microphone, they have caused so much fear in people. It's kind of like COVID, where you couldn't speak up against it. You either were with it or you got attacked. And that's pretty much where we were with COVID. And they're trying to
Mhm,
bring that back around too. I'm
mhm. Talking about bringing RFK onto the team.
that
Love
would be
that.
so
I think
good.
that was so smart because that's one thing they were talking about how do we get the young suburban women? And they said you start talking about their children, and that's when you
Right.
can. So
Right.
bringing him on, and he's going to be talking about the children's health and the damage to the COVID did.
I really loved his speech too when he came out.
Yep.
I loved how they deflated that DNC
Yep.
balloon. And they were respectful. They waited until the
Mhm.
convention was over.
Mhm.
But boy, they sure deflated that balloon immediately. Did you
Yep.
see
The
that
next day.
Biden had they released it? I think it had happened a couple months ago, but Biden got all of RFK's family around him.
Oh
Everyone
yeah.
is around him, like I don't know, 50 people and took a picture with Biden. And it just, I mean, so disgusting. Really, honestly, in your family, you have to vote exactly the same as everyone else. You have to be in brainwash mode with everyone else. You can't vary at all. I mean,
Well,
how
even
stupid. I mean, I
and
just
even at
felt like,
that, these
yeah,
are the current Democrat Party is not the Kennedy Democrat Party.
no, not at all. That's what he
It's not the
said.
Democrat Party from the 60s. It is
This is
not.
what's crazy that Trump is closer to that old
Hmm.
Democrat Party than the
Yep.
new Democrat Party. Kamala to even talk about like now, okay, so she talks, she's proud of Bidenomics, then she backs off of it because everyone's going like, what the hell are you talking about? We're all paying
Yeah.
$5 and up for a
Oh yeah.
freaking tiny loaf of
Everything.
anything. And then she backs off of it, and now she's all back like somehow we don't even realize that it's all Bidenomics that got us here. Now she's all saying that it's Bidenomics is like so great and it's bringing them back around and the inflation is down. And I'm like, inflation is down from you.
Right.
Like you were the
It's
ones.
way up. It was, what was it, 1.2% or something like that, 1.5% when Trump left
Right,
office,
right. Oh
and it
yeah, it was
shot
one
up.
point something, and it's double what it was when he was in. I just don't even know what is going on with this. I just
Oh,
think,
but hey, it's the best economy in 50
oh my,
years.
yes. They've done such a
That's what they're
great
saying.
job with
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
border and the economy. And
Oh,
I
all
mean,
of it.
ugh, it's so
National
frustrating.
security. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's basically just, she is hijacking all of Trump's
Mhm,
points, all of his
mhm,
policies, and acting like she has been on board with them. And it's like, if no one can see this, basically he was securing our wall, he was securing
mhm,
our
mhm,
border.
mhm,
She had 3.5 years to do it. She still isn't going to do it right now. Somehow
mhm.
magically, if she gets elected, she's going to start doing it when she gets elected. She could do
Right.
it right now. She
Mhm.
could do it now.
Yep.
Show us. Show us. I
Mhm.
wish someone would just say to her, show us
Yep.
then. Do it.
Mhm.
You're all for the border. You're all for securing the border. Do it.
Yep.
Show
Yep.
us.
Yep.
Tim Walz, I swear, if anyone's fooled by his like hokey, like I go fishing and I have done hunting and but he is not a small town country boy.
Mhm.
He is a
No.
politician. He
Yep.
literally praised one of the leaders in the Muslim community up at where Minnesota. Is that where he's from? Minnesota, right? I think it's Minnesota.
Yep.
Um, and he was praising him like he's a great teacher. I know teachers because I'm a teacher and he's a great teacher. And I'm like, this guy's giving
Oh,
money
well.
to Hamas. Okay.
Mhm.
Like he is not a small town boy. He's not. He's not a small town man. He's not. He's
And I'm
not. So
sick
no
of
one
them
be fooled.
calling him
And
coach.
were you
Yes,
the one that told
coach.
me you think possibly Bushes are
I heard
endorsing?
that. I
Okay.
heard that.
I'm telling you, Texas, we need to disown the Bushes. If
I got
they
really,
if they
yeah,
endorse Kamala, I'd say done deal.
yeah,
They
yeah.
can't
Well, then
claim
that just proves that what we've been suspecting and hearing all along is that they're part of the global cabal,
right.
that they, that,
Yep. That
I,
they're no different than anyone else.
yeah.
Hmm.
And I'm hearing where I live, the Bushes got a lot of stuff named after them, and everybody in town's going, we need to rename all these
Yep.
buildings and get rid
Yep.
of the Bush name. And I went,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Here's the thing too, is a really good point was, if you just can't say I'm voting for Trump, then vote for the RFK part of it. Just
No,
say,
yeah.
hey,
Yeah,
whatever.
and one of
But
the states isn't going to let RFK take his name off the ballot. Did you hear about that?
yeah,
Yeah, what a
I'm
bunch of
sure that,
BS. Like
yeah,
that's
all
come
of
on.
that.
Well,
There's
I mean
just
that's our country, folks.
right. And and you know what? If you don't get Texas tough,
That's
and if
right.
you don't go vote,
Yeah.
um,
Be informed.
then you're contributing to your own demise. Is
Yep.
all I can say,
Yeah.
and it's coming. It's going to
Yeah.
get worse. It will get way worse if the Democrats continue to be in control, and I do not think we can recover from that. I don't.
No, I know. I don't think so either. So stay Texas tough, and we'll
Mhm.
see you next time.
Take care.
And
No,
then you'll get my vote.
mhm,
Wish you wouldn't.
no, yeah, she'll never get my
She
vote.
would no.
I'm still.
No.